Welcome to the Discover Montcalm podcast, where we're going to take a look at the communities, the businesses, the attractions, and the people that make up Montcalm County. Here is your podcast host, Dwayne Weed.
Hello and welcome to the Discover Montcalm podcast, where we're looking at the people, the businesses, and the communities that make up this wonderful county of Montcalm. Well, this past week, let's just say the snow, the ice, really has not made it a very fun time to be in Michigan. But we're from Michigan, so that's not a big deal. We just hunker down and away we go. For all of you that had lost power, I hope it's back on by now, and hopefully everything went off without a hitch. Because of the snowstorm, I decided that I was going to stay close to home. I was going to stay in Howard City, and I was going to go out and I was going to ask business owners one question. Why should they discover Montcalm? And as I went through the downtown, I learned a few things about these businesses that I didn't know. See, the one thing that we see all the time are the signs out in front of businesses, but we don't know the people inside. That is why I set up the Discover Montcalm podcast. I'm very curious. I want to get to know the people. I want you to get to know the people behind the sign on the outside of that building. So my first stop was talking to Sherry in downtown Howard City.
Hi, my name is Sherry Ogren, and I live in Montcalm County. I'm a business owner at Edgerton Giftery in Howard City, Michigan. I really think that people need to get out and discover Montcalm County. There's a lot of unique products, a lot of unique businesses, and a lot of very unique people, talented, creative, and fun people in the Montcalm County area. If you ever get a chance, stop by and say hi.
Sherry, you touched on one thing there that I think is very, very important, the talent. We have a lot of talented people in Montcalm County. And the talent base, somebody thinks once in a while that you have to go to a big city in order to get that talent. That's not true. The talent is in the small town. And one thing that the small town businesses offer is that personal touch. You become like a family in a lot of cases to these businesses because they treat you with a warm, friendly smile, actually wanting you to come in. They want your business, but you're not just a number to them. So Sherry, thank you for pointing that out. I then went next door and learned something very interesting about the Pizza Cafe. I talked to Jean, the new owner. But what I found interesting was her family started the Pizza Cafe 30-some years ago. And I hope to bring Jean in and we can do a deeper dive into a podcast featuring her business so that we can learn all the stories. But I went, that is really kind of cool that all these years, now she's owning it. And I asked her, why should someone discover Montcalm County?
Hi, I'm Jean Toner from Jean's Pizza Cafe in Howard City. Montcalm has a lot to offer. We have lots of restaurants. We have a lot to do with music. We have a music festival that goes on here. We have music in the park. So if you're ever in Howard City, make sure you stop in.
A short walk across the street to the bowling alley is a restaurant that Andrea just opened up. She just took over the restaurant there and she's making it a go. She also has a food truck, which we hope to talk to her more about her business in a later episode. But I also ran into Eloise. She's the waitress there, and she told me some interesting things, as well as Andrea talked about why she thinks people should discover Montcalm County.
With every place I've ever worked or lived, this is the most positive town I've worked in and around. The customers, the locals, and our regulars are probably some of the most supportive people I've ever met in my life.
Why should someone discover Montcalm County?
Well, my personal thoughts are our community is growing, and there's so many great things going on. Like the library puts something on every week. You know, we got all these new stores here opening up on Main Street. You know, it's not a ghost town anymore. It's so nice seeing the small towns growing again, and it's just be nice if we can now start getting our community to come and find us. You know, we've got Crave down the road, the nutritious store. We got Neighbors and Company. You know, a new little clothing store. We got the new gift shop across the street, Pizza Cafe, you know, just so many, Nikki's Nails. I mean, just we've got so much to offer just in our small town, but nobody's used to all this being here anymore. So, and I'm sure that's happening in all the rest of the small towns around, you know, Montcalm County too. And these little towns are great. I'm from Muskegon, you know, we don't have little stuff like this. So this to me is, you know, wonderful. And to be part of it is, you know, just growing. All these, you know, we're just growing, and I think everybody should come down and check it out.
Thank you, Jean, and I can't wait to do a complete podcast on your business, because I think there's a lot of interesting things happening in everybody's business. So that call goes out to everybody in Montcalm County. I want to learn about your business, your organization, your festivals, your events, everything that's going on. I'd like to feature on one of my podcasts. So just reach out to me at 231-250-9624. Speaking of my podcast, I'm not able to do this podcast without some help from some of our sponsors. And J.R. Muller from West Michigan Technology and Design Solutions down in Byron Center has been my go-to guy for hosting websites for many years now. And when I started this podcast, I reached out to him, and I know he's not in Montcalm County, but I said, JR, could you help me out? And he said that yes, he would provide me website hosting and support, and I think that's wonderful. So a big shout out to JR from West Michigan Technology and Design Solutions in Byron Center for their hosting and their support of this podcast. Also, Jody from Busy Bee. You know, if you come in and you're a guest, you get one of these mugs. Jody has stepped up and provided these so that all the guests can have a piece of the Discover Montcalm podcast with a coffee mug. So on one side we have the Discover Montcalm, on the other side Busy Bee. So thank you, Jody, for that. And there's also a lot of other people from behind the scenes that just offer me support. My buddy Al from the Chicago area, he and I have been accountability business partners and friends for many years. We kind of help each other, and he's also been helping me with this. So it's important that to surround yourself with people that can help you grow both professionally and business-wise. So now I'm going to go to a new business in Howard City. It's called Neighbors and Company. I stopped in there in Liberty. One of the staff people was there, and I asked her the question, why should someone discover Montcalm County?
I think they should discover it because it can hold a lot of friendship. There's so many nice people. There's businesses coming left and right, and you walk down the street and you just see so many friendly faces, and I think once these businesses start coming up, it can be a really nice little town.
I then traveled a handful of steps down the street to visit with Tom at 210 Music Row. Now, you'll remember Tom, I caught up with him in episode 28 during the Harvest Festival. Well, this time I went into his shop and I asked him the same question. Why should someone discover Montcalm County?
Well, I moved up here 23 years ago to move to a smaller town. And I live on Indian Lake, and I'm a lake lover and basically all around a water lover. We got a great little trout stream goes right through town here. We got the Muskegon River. We've got several great lakes in Montcalm County. So stop in and see us.
One of the things that I love about small rural towns is its people. I think the people are very authentic. They really want to step up and help you. And a lot of these business owners from around the county, whether you're in the Panhandle area and you're in Howard City, or you're over in Crystal or Sheridan or anywhere, Edmore, the list goes on. You walk into their stores and they treat you like family. You're more than just a number to them. They get to know you. And in turn, you support them. They then support the community with their outreach and the things that they do. So it's very important to shop local in your community. And within Montcalm County, I'm kind of biased. We don't have walls around our county. But the nice thing is if you support local, things go back into the school systems, into our healthcare, et cetera, et cetera. So remember to shop local and to help out local businesses. Speaking of local businesses in the Howard City area, there's a new chamber that's being formed. I find this kind of deja vu. Back in 1996, 1997, I was part of a group of people that started the Panhandle Area Chamber of Commerce, and we started back in 1997. I was the executive director and president for the first 6 years, and then my business took me other places that I wasn't able to, give it 110% like I normally do. The chamber dissolved around 2017. But there's a group of people in the Howard City area led by Bruce Williams from Ace Home Healthcare. He put a kind of a word out saying, hey, would people be interested in a chamber? Well, I stepped into that meeting and it was almost like deja vu. We talked, we decided that yes, there is a need here. And then we spent the next many weeks after that developing the bylaws. And I can say that we are now officially a chamber according to the state and the feds. We've got all the paperwork, and this group of people is now meeting to try to put together a membership drive, and I find that very exciting. But there's one thing that I do have to chuckle about. When my wife found out that I was going to help, she told me there was no way that I was going to be on the board or be the president or any board member because I had done that. And she knows how busy I am, and she's looking out for me. And when I talked to the group about that, I said, I'll be happy to help. So Bruce, in his infinite wisdom, now calls me a consultant. I don't have any voting rights, but I can at least put my 2 cents in, and I can help this area grow with their new chamber. So the Howard City Area Chamber of Commerce is starting up, and we'll be moving forward with that with Bruce's leadership. And I'm excited to see where that goes. There's a lot of local people over here that are getting together, and I find that very, very exciting. And we'll do a podcast on the Howard City Chamber when the time is right. In the meantime, if you've got an event, a festival, a business, an organization, whether you're in healthcare or real estate, doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're in Montcalm County, I want to tell your story. Reach out to me at 231-250-9624. You can catch us on YouTube. You can catch us on Instagram and Facebook and Google Podcast and iTunes. You can go to discovermontcalmpodcast.com. Check out all the past episodes. I look forward to telling your story. Reach out to me at 231-250-9624. Remember to buy and shop locally. Thank you.
Connect and subscribe to Discover Montcalm Podcast at discovermontcalmpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Discover Montcalm Podcast. To be featured in an upcoming show, contact Dwayne at 231-250-9624. Remember to subscribe at discovermontcalmpodcast.com.